Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Moyanke Lucira. And if you're seeing my face for the very first time, thank you so much for clicking on this video and welcome to the family. Today I'll just be sharing with you my life growing up without a father, some of the challenges I experienced, and how I found help. Now, a lot of people don't know that beyond the physical challenges that the absence of a father brings into the life of a child, there are also psychological and emotional challenges which are so grievous, which are all popularly known as daddy issues. Now, just because you had a father in your life while you were growing up doesn't mean you do not have daddy issues. If you had a father who was unapproachable, very domineering, condescending, unappreciative, emotionally, physically abusive, the chances are you suffer from daddy issues and you might not know it because you do not know how it manifests. A father plays three major roles in the life of a child: one, to protect, to profess, and to provide. Anytime that one of these three is missing, there's always a problem. And for a very long time, society has reduced the role of a father to just providing and maybe a little bit of protection. But the most essential, which is professing, teaching the child, nurturing the child, has been very much neglected. Whereas it plays a very critical role as far as the development of a child is concerned. For me, I was rejected right from the womb. Like when my mom was pregnant, my dad rejected the pregnancy, and so my mom had to nurture it, give birth, and take care of me all by herself. And she did such an amazing job. There were times that I would see her put herself out there, sacrifice her happiness, give up on things that she really wanted, only so that I would have a life. Despite all she did, there were some challenges that I experienced. At the time, I could not explain exactly what was happening. And the first thing that I experienced was chronic low self esteem. Self confidence is built on knowing who you are and whose you are. Me not really knowing who I was stemmed from the rejection I experienced from my father. I always felt like if I was really that valuable, if I was really that precious, if I was really worthy, like he would never have rejected me. So this placed me in a position where I would not really expect too much from people because I felt like I wasn't really up to anything big, so I wasn't expecting anything big from anybody. And so I would always put myself on a discount. I would not really show up for things that I am supposed to show up. I would always shy away before opportunities, before people, and stuff like that because I felt like there was a deficiency on the inside of me, though I could not really place exactly where it was coming from. And this transcended to low standards. Now, you only set standards based on the value you placed on yourself, and the value you place on yourself is what you get from those who are supposed to nurture you, especially the father figure for a girl child. It is often said that the father is the first love of every girl child. Like, this is the person that places a crown on her head. This is the person that affirms her beauty. This is the person that teaches her how to love and how to receive love. This is the person that tells her, you're beautiful, you're valuable, you're worthy, you're precious. This is the person that tells her who she truly is so that she doesn't go out there in the world asking herself, who am I? Who am I? Trying to get the real version of who she is from people. The bad thing about this is it attracted a lot of narcissists. Now, narcissists are people who do not care about you, they care only about themselves. They take advantage of your ignorance, they take advantage of your naivety, your kind heart. Like they would literally just exploit every area of your life that they have access to without any remorse. Another challenge that I faced was self rejection, self sabotage. I would always disqualify myself for things before anybody disqualifies me. And it still boils down to the fact that you're running away from being rejected. So you reject yourself before people get to reject you. Oh my God, I'm getting to the heart of it. One of the grievous challenge I faced was the absence of an active male figure in my life left me with a desperate search for one. Oh my God, this might not make sense to you if you have both parents playing an active role in your life. But if you're a girl that you grew up with without a father, you know exactly what I am talking about. I was in this relationship that I had no business being in simply because I wanted to fill a void that the absence of my father had caused on the inside of me. And the worst part about it is, still in all of these relationships, I could not get what I was looking for. Like every relationship I got myself into, I literally got myself out of it. Yeah, I was always the first person to say no. I'm not okay with this again. I don't want to do this. Like there was always this push factor and to get into a relationship, and there was always this pull factor that brings me out of these relationships. And this kept on happening until God showed up. And let me just say this now. If you're a young lady out there and you constantly find yourself settling for less, you feel like you are not important or on a regular, there's always a need for you, there's always a desperation on the inside of you to be in a relationship, you always feel empty. That emptiness on the inside of you, no man, no relationship, no job, no business, nothing you acquire will be able to fill that void. What you need is a father fix. When a product begins to malfunction, it's only the manufacturer of that product that knows exactly what to do to bring it back to default setting without causing any further damages. And if you haven't experienced any of these challenges, or maybe you've had a glimpse of some of the ones I have mentioned, I want to tell you that there's a way out, that you can stop all of these things from happening to you, and that is by giving your life to Jesus. Early salvation equal early preservation. Find God before these challenges find you. Only God Almighty can make up for the deficiencies that the absence of your earthly father left. Your relationship with God will build you on the inside. He will give you a true value and a consciousness of who you really are, to the extent that you'll be able to set standards that put you in positions to actually attract the things and people who truly honor you for who you are. Psalms 68 verse 5 says, He is the father of the fatherless. That means the fatherless needs a father, and that father can only be found in Him. Outside of Him, you would find frustration. When God started helping me, the first thing that He had me do was to forgive my father. And it was actually the most difficult part of the story. It took me some time. I had to cry about it. I poured out all my bitterness. I pointed out every area, everything that I would have been, everything I would have excelled in, if only that did not happen to me. And after that, I was able to forgive him. And there was this peace that came upon me. And after then, God took over and He started directing my life. He took me back to the basics, started setting principles, how to communicate with people, especially the opposite sex, how to relate, because even now I still have problems relating with people. That emotional distance, that emotional gap, left some damages on the inside of me, which was poor communication. I don't know how to relate with people. Those who relate with me a lot, they know that I have this challenge when it comes to communication, and it's not never because I do not care, but it's simply because I do not know how to put myself out there. I don't know how to really interact. It's something I'm working on actually, and God is helping me. I don't know how to properly interact with people. It's a big deal for me. It's really a huge deal for me, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there, yeah. So if you're out there, you're carrying wounds that the absence of your father left on the inside of you, I want to tell you something. The first thing you have to do is to forgive your father. And hear this. Sometimes the reason why people treat us the way they treat us is because they did not have a good knowledge. Maybe the only reason why he wasn't really there for you was because nobody taught him how to be there. Nobody was even there for him, and so he's just passing over his trauma onto you. People cannot treat you better than they know or than they learned. If they knew better, they would have done better. Like, I believe that they did the best with what they had at the particular time. And you have to be grateful because, at least for the life that they gave you, when you were taking your first breath, someone else was taking their last breath. And the fact that you are still here today is because God has a plan. You are not a biological mistake. You were ordained. He knew you before you were formed. He knew that you would be in time like this, and He created you for a particular purpose. It's time for you to start viewing life from that angle. See yourself as a privilege and not as an underprivileged somebody. Yes, daddy is not around, daddy is not present, but you can still become an amazing young girl. You can still become a strong, a queen conscious woman. All you have to do is to nurture a father daughter relationship with you. And I tell you, you will be amazed at the changes that you will experience in your life. Well, thank you so much for watching. And if you grew up without a father, I want to tell you that someone understands. And if you ever feel the need to talk, I would love for you to get in touch with me on any of my social media handles, Moyan Kelly Sarah, and I would like you to drop a comment in the comment box. Tell me some of your challenges that you've experienced. Do you resonate with any of those things? Thank you. I love you and God bless you.